Hello and welcome to episode 11 of the Blackwater podcast. We got something a bit different here today. We went on Twitter and we asked fans and people who watch the podcast to give us some questions, and we'll answer them on this. I will say I say it in the thing, we are all very tired in this podcast. I just got back from a night out. I know Nick had been up for a while and was also tired, but this is one of the most fun podcasts I've ever recorded. And just get ready, because if you like it, whenever we argue and whenever we are at each other's throats quite a bit, this is going to be your favorite of all time, because this is one of the most cracked podcasts I've ever been. But with that, I'm not going to spoil too much of it. But please follow, share with everyone, and on with the podcast. But yes, hello and welcome to whatever episode this is of the Blackwater podcast. We're all wary and fucking tired as anything, so if we're a bit low energy on this
Speak
one,
for
that's
yourselves. Speak for yourselves.
Vitor.
Like,
Shut up.
it kind of speaks for me.
I speak for myself
Yesterday,
most times.
yesterday was America Day. Had a
Oh,
great
fuck off.
time resting at home. I
Vitor,
usually
fuck
do
off.
something for the fourth, but
Did
I
you
didn't
did
yesterday.
you set any fireworks off or whatever you do on America Day?
You see, yesterday was one of my most chill days in the fourth, just because I've been doing so much shit. So I just took the day off to work.
And
Um,
celebrate America's triumphs of colonizing half the world. Oh no, wait, that's Britain.
but no, I didn't. I didn't do anything yesterday. But I wish I did. Maybe I should have gone to the beach or something. But my friends had fun.
But yeah, Bido, how's your week been? I mean,
So it's been good. I'm currently, if my mic sounds a little different, that is because I'm not home. I'm in vacation on right now. I'm in Florida.
You're in Florida.
how
Yeah,
did you not
and
know this?
I've literally
Where?
said this so many times.
Where?
I'm in Indian Rocks Beach. It's like near Tampa.
Yeah, Tampa. You're like 4 hours away from me.
Yeah.
3 hours ish.
I love how
Calm
like
down.
from I love how like for Americans that's a short distance, but for me and Hugo that's like so long. 3 hours is like you
And
spend the
that's in the
night
same
then.
state. That's in the same state.
Well, yeah, but that's because your states are on the size of our countries.
Yeah.
Well, some of them are.
But yeah,
I'm looking at it. That looks pretty. I haven't been.
yeah, it's nice here.
So pretty.
But I guess another thing I should talk about is Friday last week, um, I was at a show. I was at a thrash show in Sweden. It was four bands. It was a band called, I think they were called Eternal Evil. There was a band called, what was the other band called? So, yeah. Uh,
How'd it go?
it was really nice. It
I
was
mean,
I was standing all the way at the front basically the entire time, which was pretty cool.
yeah. I haven't been to a concert
Uh,
in a minute. I have Coldplay coming up. Look at that.
Yikes.
Boo! I'd rather.
Let's go.
Um,
Let's go.
well, when I saw this week, I saw a show that might be the best show I've ever seen, personally. And I've seen a lot of shows. This
By
says a lot.
fading.
I saw King Diamond live, which was phenomenal. He had the whole stage set. He had an actress playing like different characters. I was
Fuck it.
like genuinely about 3 feet away from Andy LaRock, who's one of my favorite guitar. I don't think he's as good as the Merciful Fate guitarist, but he's basically up there. And kind of seeing, I've always liked King Diamond. I love Merciful Fate, but I always saw King Diamond as a bit less than Merciful Fate.
Mhm.
But seeing King Diamond live kind of made me appreciate his 80s stuff specifically more, especially them, Conspiracy and The Eye. Uh, and I'm going through his stuff, and the album Voodoo I'd highly recommend from the 90s. That's a very good album.
Mhm.
And this tomorrow, which is why I'm tired and I'm going to have to be up early tomorrow because it's a long show tomorrow, I am seeing the reunited Slayer, which I am so excited for because the set list, some of my friends went to go see them in Cardiff. They said it's one of the greatest shows I've ever seen. The set list looks fucking insane. They played Chemical Warfare, they played War Ensemble, they played Die by the Sword. They basically just play all the good stuff, even from the newer albums. They play stuff like Jihad, which is the album stuff. One song I really love of Christ Illusion. They unfortunately do play something off Repentless, but well.
Mm.
Um,
Is Dave Lombardo there?
no, no, it's
That
boss stuff. It's the Repentless lineup, but I do like Gary Holt as a guitarist, and apparently he is very good this tour. Like he just does all the solos perfectly. Also, speaking of the Black Sabbath show, Slayer played there, and it was quite funny because they kind of just always edited around the solos. Like, because Kerry King evidently can't do the Tony Iommi solos, so they'd stop there and then move on to another song, which I just find quite funny. But yeah, we are recording this on the day of the big Black Sabbath concert, and um, yeah, before we get into the main thing, does anyone have any thoughts on the Black Sabbath concert? Did anyone watch it? Slash,
I
what
I
do
didn't.
you
I
think?
did work
I
all
did
day.
not. I'm not paying for that shit, bro. I can't be bothered.
I didn't pay for it. I watched it for free. I didn't pirate it. I went to a pub to watch it. Um, but I think it is a good send off to. And my mate did grab me as we were watching it, and he was like, we are sitting through kind of like a historical moment here. This is the first ever metal band retiring,
Yeah,
like properly.
Mhm.
Like it is kind of a big moment.
yeah,
And to be honest, I think it was a great celebration of the Aussie era of the band. I don't think it was a great celebration of Black Sabbath. That's my only issue with it.
yeah,
Because Black
yeah,
Sabbath is way more than just the Aussie era. It's the
Mhm.
Dio stuff, it's the Gillan stuff, it's the Tony Martin stuff. Even if you don't like the stuff, that is Black Sabbath. Tony Iommi is Black Sabbath in the
yeah,
end, not Ozzy. But it was a great celebration of Ozzy
yeah,
because they played a bunch of his solo stuff as well. But I did nearly cry during his solo set because he was doing really well. Like his vocals were really good, and he started with "I Don't Know." He played Mr. Crowley. He played "Suicide Solution." But yeah,
How long did Ozzy play for?
the I didn't stay for the whole Black Sabbath set because I had to bring my mate home. But the Aussie set was like 35 minutes. Like it was a long set. He played about 5, 6 songs. He
Hmm.
played what's it? He played I Don't Know, Mr. Crowley, Crazy Train, Suicide Solution, Mama I'm Coming Home, maybe something else. But I think that might have been it.
Yeah,
But then he played the Black Sabbath set. So like he did play for like a pretty long time, and considering where we've seen him before, not in a great state. I'm kind of glad he's had this kind of big moment to
yeah.
end his career because he is a legend, whether you like his wife or not. But yeah, and David Draymond got booed, which is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. What
Fucking
song did Gojira cover?
um uh let me check. They played Under the Sun, which
Mm,
was really cool. But they played Stranded, then Silvera, then Mea Culpa, the Sun Valley Olympics,
yeah,
and then Under the Sun, which is a very cool um choice, I'd say.
yeah,
But yeah, let me check what. So Sammy Hagar, our friend of the channel, Squashy's favorite. That set's not up yet, but he played like Montrose songs. Um, they played like a bunch of different covers. So like Lizzie Hale, Jakey Lee, who's the Aussie guitarist, Nuno Betancourt from Extreme, David Pedo Ellison, allegedly, before we get in legal trouble,
Mm.
from Mega Mid, Mike Borden from Faith No More, and Adam Wakeman, very sure I don't know, played Ultimate Sin. Then David Zionist Draymond came in. They played Shot in the Dark, and they played Sweet Leaf, which was with Scott Ian, which was a bit weird. They played Believer. Then Youngblood sung Changes, which was fucking awful. Also, fucking
that
what's it?
sounds awful.
What's it? Uh, what's his name? Fred Durst did a cover of Changes. That was also fucking awful. Billy Corgan did a fucking version of Snowblind, which was like, and Billy Corgan sung "Breaking the Law,"
Oh God.
which I couldn't hear because my friend was just screaming, I think fucking your ma," in the lyrics to "Breaking the Law" over and over again in my ears. Fucking your ma, fucking your ma. Just imagine that in like a Welshy, Irishy accent. Uh, and then they played a bunch of Aerosmith stuff, which was also pretty cool. Though they did play fucking Whole Lot of Love, which was shit. Because fuck that band. Rival Sons played Electric Funeral. Tool played Hand of Doom, which was so boring. Not Hand of Doom. Hand of Doom's a good song, but Guns N' Roses played Never Say Die and Junior's Eyes, so they fucking doubled up on the Never Say Die love. Thank fucking God. Mastodon played Supernaut, but I didn't see it, unfortunately. Anthrax played Into the Void, which was cool. Hailstorm
Mid-threats.
Hailstorm just didn't play a fucking Sabbath song. No, they played Perry Mason, sorry, they played an Aussie song.
Oh.
But Pantera played Electric Funeral and Planet Caravan, of course, even though Planet Caravan just didn't work live. Slayer played Wicked World from the debut, which was weird. Lamb of God played Children of the Grave, which was fucking awful.
It was awful.
Yeah, it really was.
Why?
Randy's voice
I
just
don't know how
didn't
their
fit it.
performance was, but
Randy's voice just didn't fit it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Alice in Chains played Fairies Wear Boots and got muted because they said Free Palestine. Um, Metallica played Hole in the Sky, Johnny Blade, and then a bunch of their own songs, which was cool. I do think even if you don't like the Never Say Die, it is cool to see them not just play the same songs.
Yeah.
But yeah. But anyway, as we're waffling on, despite the fact we've also been needing to end early, as we usually do, we thought, because we're all loving and caring people, we thought we'd give back on this one
Really?
and actually listen to the fans for once, because we never do that. Because I read your
So we're just
comments.
so busy. We have so
Nick,
many.
yeah, Nick, no,
Things.
Nick actually just hates the fans personally. They don't tell anyone, but they hate
Yeah,
the fans.
if you guys read what Nick
Yeah.
says
Yeah,
in our GC,
I know.
yeah,
Shut
that's
up.
all we have to say. I'll stay
Yeah,
quiet before I get in trouble. That's all I have to say.
but
I do not
but
hate
yeah.
fans.
So we've asked everyone for questions. We will try to get to everyone. If I miss a question, I'm very sorry. I'm tired, but I'm trying to get to everyone that
Before
asked.
before we get started, we're gonna answer the questions of the fans in this episode, correct?
Yes.
Well, I have a question to the fans that I want
Okay.
answered. Okay.
Okay.
Um, who do you guys think between us
Here we
four
go.
eats termites for
What?
breakfast?
What?
Bro, I had Vegemite on toast for breakfast. And this
That's
wasn't
not
the thing that had termites.
termites.
It
It's not
rhymes with termites.
termites.
Close enough.
Because you said it
Fucking
rhymes with
this
termites.
is average American brain cells. Is like, oh yeah, it rhymes with this. That means it's this. Yeah.
Let's get started.
No, but the genuine question I want to hear is, all right, who do you think runs this podcast like on an iron ship? Because I've got told in the group chat, that, me and Bido aren't needed in this group chat, and that this could be the Vitor and Nick show, which I don't think would run very
Listen,
well.
listen, no
It
one
is
said that.
the
No
Vitor
one said that.
and
You
Blackwater
both
show.
said that. You both said
What?
that.
I
Like,
agree,
what?
Vitor.
When?
It is our show.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
Nick.
exactly.
yeah,
See?
Vitor
yeah.
didn't say that, but Nick said that.
Okay,
It
sorry,
is.
Alright.
Vitor.
It is the Vitor and Nick show. I
Never
agree.
mind.
Uh-huh.
You do not eat vermitides or termites.
There we go. Vermitites. Fucking hell.
Vermitides.
Yeah, Vermintide.
Cassetti, double moon.
No. I was thinking of the game Vermintide.
Vermintide? What?
Fucking Cassetti.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
fuck.
yeah,
What are you
Vermintide. I know that
talking
game.
about?
I was
Do
gonna
you not know
say.
Vermintide?
What
All
are you
right.
talking about?
I don't even. Let's just move on.
The game,
All right.
Vermintide.
The game
Guys.
Vermintide.
What are we even what are we doing?
Oh, move on, man.
Okay,
Move on.
Let's start again. Hello. Welcome to the Blackwater Pod. All right, starting with the first question because I think this is a good question from Rockarola from the lovely Judas Priest cast. Go watch them. We've had Doomy on. This is the other host. He's lovely. He said, "I grew up at the cusp of heavy metal. It's all I knew. How did you kids come to find heavy metal and its originators? Was it family, radio, word of mouth? How did you make it through the detritus? Sorry, I'm bad at reading. And become hard rock fans. Basically, how did we get into hard rock and not other genres? Does anyone have any?
I can get started on
Um,
this.
Who wants to go first?
Well, Vitor
The
apparently.
Yeah, I'll get started. Well,
It's fine.
the very first song I recognized, and I was like, yeah, I like this shit, was 22 Acacia Avenue by Iron Maiden, and that was playing in my dad's
And
car. So yeah, I
How
mean,
old were you when you were listening to that song? Because that song has some wild lyrics halfway through it.
no, I didn't understand anything anyway.
That
I only speak Portuguese back then, but I think I was maybe 6 or 7,
oh, fair enough.
and yeah, I mean, I was always into heavy metal because of my dad. I picked up Brazilian music after heavy metal. Um, so I kind of that's always what I've been into. So that's why I wanted to get started. It's a short answer. That's what I started with because of my dad. To answer the question.
good
alright.
stuff.
Thank you,
Okay.
Dad.
So
I'll go next. Why not?
bro, I was literally oh whatever.
Oh, fine. You go then, Hugo.
All right.
Mr. Impatient.
So
So I don't know. Sorry,
you,
guys. I don't know why everyone's arguing so much in this group chat. We've
I
not done
don't.
anything except for the fact that I said I'm running a bit late, guys. Sorry, I might not be able to record it. And then these three like, all right.
Yeah.
I'll be
Um.
the teacher. Hugo, you can go next because you put your hand up and didn't speak in like a certain
Shut
Australian.
up, bitch.
So, um, I originally for most of my youth, didn't really like any kind of rock music at all. It wasn't until I was like 14 or something like that that I started to realize that rock music and hard and is actually pretty good. And kind of like the first band that got me into that was Pink Floyd. I think
Mm-hmm.
I talked about this on our first episode, but I'll talk about it again. Because I listened to Dark Side of the Moon, and I was like, holy shit, this is really good. And so I started getting more into rock music, which eventually led me to System of a Down, which was the first metal band I ever listened to. And I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool too. And then I listened to, like Metallica and Megadeth and like Slipknot and stuff like that. And I was like, oh yeah, yeah, this is actually pretty good. I did not become like a fully dedicated metalhead though, until a couple of months after that when um first fully listened to Storm of the Light Bane by Dissection. That was when I was like, holy shit, I need to get more into metal. And that listening to that album, I immediately after that listened to Slaughter of the Soul by At the Gates, and then also Clayman by In Flames and The Jester Race by In Flames. Those like four albums were kind of like what really, really made me want to become like a full-on metalhead and really made me fall in love with the genre. So yeah, I guess that's the story that I have.
Valid.
Think.
All right, Nick, if you have one.
Yeah. I would have been
Yeah.
5 or 6 when my
So what was
dad
this
played.
like fucking 1654? This happening.
Fuck you. You can't say it. Fuck you. Um, my dad played "Hard as a Rock" by AC/DC in the car, which is like a burnt. You know how you like burnt CDs to put like his own music
Yeah.
on there and all that. He had one of those, and he put that in, and the first song was "Hard as a Rock" by AC/DC. That was like my first introduction to like rock music. And obviously, growing up in Australia, you hear AC/DC a lot. So, like, it kind of just happened. Then, when I was like 11, I discovered Linkin Park. and then Slipknot, and then it just was like
Linkin
a
Park.
snowball effect. Like we were on the podcast recording, Hugo.
All right, and the way I found out about one of the reasons I got into metal was I was kind of like bitter. I didn't care about music. Well, not music, and I actually didn't really care about music as a whole. I was like, I didn't care like to listen to music, if that makes sense. It was in stuff like it was in the background. And then growing up, I was kind of friends with the music kids in secondary, and I was always into stuff like Queen. That was the first album I ever got, was the Queen greatest hit stuff. So Queen was what I grew up on, and my parents were into hard rock and stuff like that. Um, and then I just kind of found my way through it. I just kind of started listening to stuff, and I know they get shit, but Kiss were one of the bands I first got into a lot, and you know,
Overrated. Overrated.
we're not getting into this debate now,
No,
but this
properly
No.
limited.
this whole debate could probably be like we could probably make this a whole episode of just a debate on Kiss.
Yeah, I think we talked about that in the past. Yeah, it's a separate
But
episode.
Kiss were the band I loved, and I just wanted to find out everything about them. I wanted to find out, the backstory and the stuff, and the story of Kiss is arguably more interesting than the music they ever made, because Jesus Christ, it's one of the most interesting stories of their whole album on their albums are more interesting than bands' entire careers. It's actually insane. But yeah, so I found out about that. I think it's in stuff like Maiden, Priest, and then it was kind of during lockdown. I was in school because my dad had a job, which meant I could go to school. It meant I worked better, and I just listened to stuff like Blue Oyster Cult, Van Halen, Journey, um, just stuff like that at school. And I was discovering all this stuff, and I was like, and Kansas and Rush that was where I found out about Rush, and I would listen to like a new album every day, and I'd like digest it all, and it was so cool. But yeah, and then I started meeting people, going to shows, so stuff like that. And then the polar opposite of that well thought out question, the other member of the Jesus Priest cast, we have Doomy asking, why did Bullfart miss an episode? Now, this is a certain, and also Bullfart also asked, can you ask why I missed a certain episode? So we're asking the question here. So Nick, first off, I will let you plead your case on why you missed the episode that that will come out last week when this releases, I think.
Which episode comes out?
The tier list one. You know the one.
Album
The
cover
one-
tier list one.
The one that
Oh,
you missed
okay,
two
yeah, I remember.
times.
So let's just say my sleep schedule is kind of cooked,
That wasn't the reason.
and no.
Yeah, that was not the
Why'd you
reason.
miss it the first time?
No,
Why'd you miss it?
no,
Because
no,
you
no,
missed
no,
it
no.
twice. Why'd you miss it the first time?
The cheese incident.
No,
No,
that's a whole other. That's a whole other incident.
that's a
Oh,
whole
okay.
other story.
Okay, we'll tell the cheese incident too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first one, as I recently moved houses, and the first episode or the first time we're supposed to record it, I misread Connor's text saying we're skipping the episode entirely, so I had
Well,
to
no,
help
I
my
said.
family move.
By the way,
Yes,
I
okay.
said the actual
Yeah.
thing I said was sorry. I forgot to tell our guest about the album that was on the album wheel. So we are skipping that.
So
We're
Yeah.
skipping
I
it.
thought
I think is what I
Connor
said.
He
I
said we
thought
were
Connor meant skipping
skipping
the
the
episode.
part with the album wheel.
Yeah, and Nick read that as, oh yeah. So we were in a call waiting for them, and then they just weren't there. And then, do you want to explain this? Then we rearranged it, told them the date 3 times, and
Hold on. So the second time I missed it, this was my
The
fault
week
again.
after.
The week after, yes. So again, my sleep schedule is very bad. So I went to sleep maybe like 4 in the morning, and normally we start recording here at like 10 in the morning here for me. So I set an alarm, right? It was supposed to be for 9:30 a.m. It was not 9:30 a.m. I set it for 9:30 p.m. and I missed the
Yeah.
recording again.
And this is why you use 24-hour clocks, because it's just easier to work out.
But
And what's the
that's
cheese
that's
incident
not
then?
the cheese incident. So I am lactose intolerant, and my dumbass ate a whole bunch of back mozzarella cheese. and I had,
Yeah, and then what happened?
and
Oh, you got fucking sick.
They didn't just get sick. They didn't just get sick.
Yeah, they fucking puke and shit everywhere. Bro.
So we get a message, by the way, with 2 hours before we're set to record, going, "Sorry guys, I can't do it. I've been shitting on the toilet for an hour."
No, it was more than an hour at that point.
But yeah,
I was
yeah.
I
The behind the
was a
scenes
horrible day.
the behind the scenes story of the fucking Blackwater podcast is shambles. It's genuinely. I don't think viewers understand like how lucky it is we have reached 10 episodes. Like with this, like I. It feels like every week something happens. Either Vitor
That's
has
unreal, Vitor.
Vitor
Whoa,
has another.
whoa, 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 whoa.
Vitor once told us with 2 minutes to go that he's watching a sports game, and there was another time that he was at a barbecue that he knew about for like a week beforehand and could have told us, but no.
Now listen.
And then there was the time Vitor. Then there was the time Vitor told us to get me and Hugo to get there an hour early. So he told us to get. He told us to get there an hour early.
Yeah. Vitor specifically asked me and Connor, "Oh, is it okay if we record an hour early?" And then Vitor shows up 2 hours late.
But what happened? I don't remember.
Your mum went. Your mum went. Can you go to the shop with me? Instead of going, no, sorry, I've already planned this stuff that I'm recording. You went, oh yeah, Mum, I will.
Yeah, listen.
I've never missed an episode that I've not been prepared for.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know how to defend myself for the last one, but listen. I have my reasons.
I'm not listening.
They're obscure
It's not
reasons.
Bro says
It's not
I'll
a
give my
Blackwater.
reasons, even though he doesn't tell us in advance.
They're obscure. They're obscure reasons.
Uh-huh.
I know Doomy asked more than one question in that message.
Yeah, well, it's a different
The
message.
bulk
I have the others. Hey, be nice to Doomy. Doomy filled in for your ass when you were fucking setting an alarm for 9:30 p.m.
Love you, Doomy. I'm sorry.
All right. Doomy's other thing. What's the worst thing ever said in the podcast group chat? There's a lot of bad things.
I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know how to say one.
Oh, the podcast group chat. Oh, I don't even know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know which group chat he meant, but he said it responded to the podcast. So I'm assuming he means this one. Because
Well,
God
if
forbid.
it's
do
in our other group chat.
God forbid.
There's at least
We're not
5,000 different.
We are not
messages
talking
we can
about that.
pick
Yeah,
from.
we're not.
But in the podcast one, I don't know what's the worst.
It's normally
Okay.
pretty tame, at least.
It's hard to
Compared to
say
the
what
other
is the.
Nah, it's
The
fucking
worst thing
Nick
that's
and
been said is Nick saying, "Guys, I was set my timer for 9:45 p.m."
Wait,
Sorry,
what
guys.
was it?
Sorry, guys. I'm at my dad's house. Wait, we're recording today. What? I never do that. That's the worst thing that's ever been said.
Yeah. So what was
The other
other
one,
thing you
though,
said?
The other one. How come you let Bullfart in when he's so old?
I'm
You
not
see,
even old.
we're actually because you see, two of us are European, and we have like good welfare stuff here. It's actually a rule that if you're starting a private thing, such as like a television show or something, you need to have like an old person here just to make sure they feel included. Because if you let them be on their own too
Yeah.
long, they can get sad and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's a
I
DEI
hate
hire to Americans.
Genuinely. I hate you.
Yeah.
Bro,
By the way,
I'm 22. I'm not even old.
for
Vitor, how old
context,
are you? Isn't Vitor older than me?
no,
I think. How old are you?
22.
200.
Yeah, I'm older than you. I'm turning 24 this year.
I'm not even the oldest here. Why am I getting cooked?
Because Nick's lying. Good. Okay.
I'm getting more old, and I'm like,
Doomy then said, "Which one of you has the best musical taste, and why is it Bido?"
Okay,
Well,
it's
because
clearly
I'm a
it's.
genius. That's
it-
why.
genius.
Yeah.
I will say.
Oh, you're talking, Nick.
Yeah,
Mr.
I
Set my
think we
alarm
all.
for
I think we all have
9:45
good.
p.m.
I think we all have good music taste.
Guys, chill. Let's
Okay.
say we all have good music taste except for Nick. How overrated is German thrash? Doomy asked. And I'm just going to say not overrated at all. I think it's actually underrated because not
Yeah,
enough people talk
It's
about it.
underrated.
Yeah.
I
Didn't you
I
just
agree
hate
it's
it?
underrated, but I don't listen to it enough to firmly
That's
say
fine.
it's underrated. But I like it.
Vitor, what are the
Doomy's
big
a hater.
Vitor? What are the big four German thrash nerds?
Shut up! Shut up! You asking for real or?
But if you want to answer, you didn't
I
didn't
mean,
get it.
I
didn't
didn't
get
get
it
it.
in the
I mean,
quiz.
yeah, I know. You know, creator Sodom. Sodom released a
Yeah, no,
banger.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
what are they called?
Teutonic.
There we go.
There we go.
What's the
Listen, I was under pressure, man. I know this. I was under pressure.
I
Come
just
on.
saw another. Okay.
All right. Let's
From
do squashies now.
long time fan Future Squash 767. He
Hmm.
asked some normal Nick, say
Hmm?
sorry. He's asked a question. This shows, all right. Nick doesn't care about the fans. The fans
Yeah, we've been telling you
ask,
guys.
and he's like,
We've been telling you
oh.
guys.
By the way, Nick wants to do another fucking podcast about like, oh yeah, top 5 black metal albums from fucking
I was,
Czechoslovakia.
motherfucker, I was, so I get cooked for giving ideas now. Okay,
Bro, your ideas are
because
just let's talk about more
Hugo was the
underrated
one.
black metal.
Hugo was the one that brought up black metal the first.
Yeah, it's because
Why am
I'm
I
not
getting
here,
cooked for
which
this?
means that's when you lot talk
So
about
when
black metal.
I try to, but it would have just been the same as the episode we did the
Mhm.
other week when
Man.
I wanted to maybe do something different, but no, like fuck.
All right. Squashy
Continue, right?
asked, "What is the greatest? What are the greatest? I'm going to say, what are the greatest? Because we haven't had time to properly think about this. What are the greatest opening songs of all time? It's a very good question.
Every time, I don't know if it's my favorite opening song, but every time I think of a great opening song, I think of Leper Affinity.
Yeah, that's definitely
Peak.
Yeah.
Every time I think
one.
of
I
a great
think
opening song, I think of Leper Affinity. So
I think my choice would probably I think I have three or I'm gonna say four options. I think one is the Leper Affinity.
yeah,
One is the Morb on Still Life.
Mhm.
One is
Mhm.
Ocean Planet on From Mars to Sirius.
oh fuck yeah.
And then my other choice is The Knell and the World on Slaughter Sun Crown of the Triarchy by Dawn. I don't know if you heard that album yet, Vitor, but
No.
it's my second favorite album of all time.
Can you send it to me on Twitter later?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
like I said,
I'm
it's my second
surprised.
favorite album of all time. So
Okay. I'm surprised you didn't say Sorrow of Sophia. I was also thinking that.
yeah, that's definitely a good song, but I think there are
Yeah, if we're
opening
talking about
songs that are better.
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go for some different stuff that just some other ones I think are good. Evil by Merciful Fate, I think is a very good opener.
That's a good
Sets the
one.
tone very well.
Yeah. What
Uh,
about no? You go.
I'll
You
also
say
say Dangerous Meeting by Merciful Fate is also very good.
Yeah.
I'll say Arrival from basically all the King Diamond stuff is good. Arrival's great from Abigail. Uh, Welcome Home is very good from them. And Eye the Witch from The Eye is great. I will also say, and I'll rep my fucking Swedish buddies here, and I'll say Swords and Chains by Gotham City is one of the
Oh
best
yeah,
openers
that's a great
ever.
song.
That's a great song. Um, and if we're going for openers that I think perfectly like set the scene, I'll say Caught Somewhere in Time, I think is Maiden's best opener. And that song is a perfect
Another
opener.
song that I could say is Kafir by Nile
Yep.
on Those Whom the Gods Detest.
Nick, you got any?
So it's technically the second song because the first song's like an interlude.
Yeah, that's fine. All the
But
fucking King Diamond ones have interludes before them.
oh, okay, I've got Into the Infinity of Thoughts by Emperor on Into
Oh
the Night
yeah,
Side
that's a good one.
Eclipse. I've
I would argue
got
actually I would argue what's it called? The opening of Anthems is even better.
Battle of
I think
Pain.
the opening of Anthems with Yang Transcempium and whatever the fuck the opening song the intro is called, I don't remember. But that opening sequence with those two songs, which is really just one song because they lead into each other, that is one of the best sequences in music ever.
Would you count A Celebration for the Death of Man as an interlude intro or the actual first intro song from the Mantle?
I think it's the actual intro song. I think it's longer than an interlude.
Yeah, I think
It's
I would
about two
call
and
it
a
the
half
opening
minutes.
song.
I've also
Yeah,
just
I'd put that.
double checked a band. I've realized they all just have good openers. Deep Purple, Speed King, Fireball, Highway Star, Burn, Stormbringer, uh, Knocking at Your Back Door. Uh, what's the last Richie Blackmore one? And The Battle Rages On. That's a great opener. Uh,
Yeah.
Great band for openers. We could
We're
basically go on forever.
we're
This could
talking
be a whole episode on its own. I
Hold
think
on.
we
yeah,
could.
Yeah.
just an openers. Yeah.
I'm not done yet. I'm afraid.
Okay.
So I've
Boy.
got Agent Orange by Sodom.
Hmm.
Sodom. Say it properly.
Shut up. I've got. Hold on, I've got Ripping Corpse by Creator.
Huh?
Crown of Horns by Cryptopsy. I've got 2 more.
You should...
Jesus Christ.
I've
Welcome
got
to the
Night
first
Blood
ever
by
20-hour episode.
Dissection,
Uh-huh.
and I have Symbolic by Death.
Okay. He also asked, what would be a deep cut from the first 9 Iron Maiden albums that you'd want them to pull out on this tour / any tour? I'm going to say any tour.
Before we get to that, I just want to quickly say my list of best openers that I compiled here. I have it written down real quick. By Rush, I have 2 songs: Tom Sawyer and Cygnus X1 Book 2.
Spirit of Radio as well.
Spirit
And
Raiders
2112.
and yes, but I prefer
And
those
Anthem.
2. I know, but if we're talking about Anthem opening songs, then it's a whole separate episode. Um,
No, I'm saying the song Anthem.
Oh, and yeah, Anthem is peak. It's probably the best song in Fly By Night.
Yeah.
Pearls of Gods by Droop, one of my favorite songs by them. Reptile by Dimmu Borgir. I think you might know this, Nick. Death of Owens by Battle Dagraph.
Yeah.
Man, you guys for sure know this. Maybe not Connor, but City of Azure Fire by Caliban Brood. Those are the quick songs that I included.
I've never heard of that band in my life.
They're basically summoning worship.
Yeah.
So not for me.
They did it so well. They did it so well.
All right. So what deep cuts from the classic era of Maiden would we want Maiden to pull out on a tour?
I don't know if this counts as a deep cut, and I don't know how much they play this song, but I really liked. But maybe like I don't know like what songs they have played and haven't.
Mm-hmm.
So I might be really off with this, but I think The Prisoner is a really good song.
Yeah. When I saw them, they played that, but it was like the first time they played it in ages.
Yeah,
and it's really cool. I love that song. I'd want to see them. I'd want to see them play Deja Vu. That's my main one. I love it.
It was a good one.
I'm happy they play. I'm happy they're playing Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. I'm not seeing them, but it's a great song. Maybe one of their best songs.
My biggest complaint about Maiden has been the lack of variety in their set list.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great question for us to talk about this. My pick would probably be Purgatory or to the
you basically say
Prisoners
the
again.
entirety of Killers, to be honest. But my only issue with
Killers, yeah.
my only issue with saying those is I don't think Bruce can do the Paul Di'Anno songs very well.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have the bite that Paul does.
That's true.
That's just my personal opinion. I'd also say I want them to play To Tame a Land from Peace of Mind. I think that's their severely underrated classic song, because when you talk about their big epics, that's just one that never gets talked about. I'd argue it's their best. It's my favorite.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe apart from Hallowed Be Thy Name, but it's more epic than Hallowed Be Thy Name.
I prefer To Tame a Land, 100%.
But To Tame a Land's so good. It's one of my favorite Maiden songs.
Yeah.
Nick, you got anything?
Is Sea of Madness a deep cut? I don't know if.
Yes, that's not been played since like 1986.
That's a bang. It's one of my favorite Maiden songs.
I'll also
Heaven
say
Can Wait. Is that another deep cut?
No, they play that all the time.
What about Genghis Khan? I don't know how often to play it.
Yeah. I'd also say I want to play something from No Prayer for the Dying just to piss off Seb.
I was gonna pick a song from there too.
Somewhere in Time is such a good fucking album, man.
It is. It's growing. It genuinely keeps growing the more. It's the one I listen to the most nowadays.
It's so good.
Caught Somewhere in Time. Because when I saw them on the one where they played like 5 songs from Caught Somewhere in Time and 5 songs from Senjutsu.
Yeah.
And the Senjutsu was a bit boring to sit through. But then they started with Caught Somewhere in Time, which is like holy fucking shit. They played Alexander the Great, Wasted Years, Stranger in a Strange Land, and I forgot the other song. The name's
Alexander the
gone.
Great's not a. It's not a deep cut, right?
Well, they only first played it live on that tour, like
Yeah,
2 years ago.
it's because I was just about to say that's something they should play more often. 100%.
I will also say, Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner, despite the fact the lyrics are dog shit, the actual music's really good. But yeah,
Yeah.
and
I'm gonna
then
pick a song from No Prayer.
go on then.
I got hooks in you.
That I don't get why people hate that song. That song's so fun.
That's a pain.
People hate that song for some reason.
Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter is also
Meh,
fun.
meh, meh, it's cheesy. No one cares. Bring Your Daughter to a Slaughter is shit. That song is dog
No,
shit.
that's not
No,
fun.
that's the song that that got to #1 in the UK charts.
It's just a fun song.
No. Bruce wrote the lyrics to that in 10 minutes. You can tell.
Mhm.
And then Squashy's final question was, which legacy band is still making the best music
Yo, Vada.
nowadays?
What do we
Legacy
consider a
band.
legacy band?
Priest.
No, I'm gonna
Because
set. I'll set it
I
that
was talking. I
they
was talking
have
about
to
this.
they have to have released an album before 1995. I think is a good
95.
because I think that's
Okay.
25 years. That is a like you
Okay.
would you
I'd say 80. I'd say
Okay.
85.
So I'm going to
no
say
because then like Halloween doesn't count as a legacy band
I think 85 probably pushing it. I
because
think. I don't
because
know.
What about 90?
in no because in 2005 you would have considered Black Sabbath a legacy band.
Yeah, true. Yeah, 95. Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, so here's 95. Beautiful. This band made albums before 95. They're not a legacy band in itself, but I think if they fit the question really well because they're absolutely a legacy band in a genre. At least I
Hmm.
consider them to be. And this band is IQ. I think they're massive in prog
I
metal. At
need
least
to
I
listen.
consider them.
I need to listen to. I've only heard The Wake, the one with the one with the green cover with like the
Yeah,
face on the front.
yeah.
I love it. I need to listen to more of their stuff.
Um,
Also, Hugo,
IQ.
I muted you just to let you know if you're trying to talk and
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
not.
Okay. Oh yeah, he's muted. Yeah, I think IQ is probably my answer here. It's probably not the most common answer as well, so that's why I thought it was interesting. Because I think IQ is um giants in prog metal, and they just released a phenomenal album in big 2025 called Dominion.
I
So
need to check it out.
it's great. So I definitely think IQ is a good mention here. But we could say things like Soldum because
Yeah,
uh
their
yeah
new album was amazing.
yeah new album is great.
I'd say Cryptopsy's new album was really good.
So yeah, I think that's a quick good answer as well.
Nick,
I
you
want
got
to
some?
say, I'm gonna say Creator
It's a good answer as well.
Okay.
Look, see, German
because
trash.
they're about to release a new album too. I think
I will
next
say
year.
Destruction's new album was so good
Dude, that was
and
good.
You see,
far
German
better.
Destruct.
trash, German trash.
Far better personally than Sodom's new album. I like
I think
Sodom's new
Battle of
album, but
Peak.
I have
Battle
issues
of
with
Peak.
Sodom's modern stuff
I
more than
think I
most of
probably
it.
agree. I think I probably agree with you.
I would say Uriah Heep's new stuff is just as good as their class, not just as good, but really good. I'd
Uh-huh.
say Jethro Tull's new stuff is really good and worth checking out.
I love the album. I love the new album.
Scorpion's newest album's very good and worth checking out personally. It's not as good as their old stuff, but that's because, in my personal opinion, their old stuff is like utterly perfect. But Judas
Well,
Priest are
obviously,
still
I
releasing
was gonna
great
say,
stuff.
obviously.
Judas Priest still releasing great stuff. Opeth, of course, are still releasing great stuff.
Porcupine Tree. How did I not mention
What,
Porcupine Tree?
what
I
about
don't know.
Nile? Would Nile be a legacy band? Or did they start after 95?
They started after him. Well, they released an album after, which is the Deep Purple's modern stuff. I'd say is very good.
Yeah,
You go.
Amorphous.
Amorphous, yeah.
Yes, Amorphous are a
Good
very
one.
good pick.
Because they've been fucking around for ages and they're still making albums that are some of their best.
I'd also say Paradise Lost.
Yeah, I was about to say Paradise Lost
Yeah,
as well.
I'm
Yeah,
looking forward
yeah,
to a new
Paradise
album.
Lost.
We have a question about July and August album, so
Yeah, we'll talk about that
little preface
later
to that.
on.
Yeah.
All right. Lieutenant Death Doom, also known as Carter to us, uh, said, "What's our favorite music memory growing up?"
Uh,
Hmm.
I'll answer this because I
I've
already
got
said it
mine.
here in the past, but I have it in addition to it. So first, just discovering new music with my dad when I was little in the car. But I'll make another addition to this is listening to classical music with my grandmother. Uh, she would slap. I don't even know how to pronounce the guy's name. Andre Rieu. How do you guys pronounce it?
I don't know who
Uh,
you're talking about.
I don't know that much
Andre.
either.
He's from the Netherlands. He's a musician, a classical musician from the Netherlands. And my grandmother just loved him. My grandfather also loved him. And I would just sit there and watch classical music with her. And I think that's also developed a love for music for me. And I absolutely cherish those moments because it was classical music, but very upbeat classical music. So it just made us feel happy and good. It was great.
Oh yeah. Mine would be my first concert with my dad, which was AC/DC in 2015,
Of course,
Shock.
and I got the ticket for my birthday that year, and they played. I think it was December 2nd. I think it was, 2015. So now, thank God, it was just before Axel fucking took over.
Even though everyone said fucking Axel was better than Brian Johnson.
No,
Also, by the way, we are on
but,
the hobbling legs of ACDC at the moment from the videos we've all seen.
yeah, there might be time. Just stop, guys. Come on.
Yeah. Nick would still rate their new album the best album of the year, though.
Yeah.
No, 100%. Easy. Definitely.
Hugo, you got
I
a
don't think
memory?
they'll release another one.
It would probably be like, I guess it's the first time I listened to Dark Side of the Moon in full. Because that was when I like realized music was something more than just entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
That was when I kind of realized that music was more than just like, something you have on the background.
That
I
album's.
yeah.
Sorry, you got that, Connor.
Well, no, I was going to say my one, so you may as well finish off the.
I was going to say that album's first listening experience it needs to be studied.
Didn't you first listen to it while high, and that's why you liked it so much?
No, but I have done that.
Okay. My one it might be a. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I'll say it's when I was older, so maybe not growing up per se, but it's when I first went to see a band called Speeder, who are a very good speed metal band. I'm not just saying that because I'm friends with them. In fact, I was hanging out with some of the guys from the band, one of the guys from the band today. I'm not just saying it because I was friends with them, because I wasn't friends with them at the start. I just liked the band. But I went to go see them, and they were great. And then the opening band was a band I already knew a bit called Thrasher Wolf. And me and him were talking. We were kind of making fun of Birmingham because that's what you do. Um, and then it turned out we're both from the same tiny village that no one's heard of in South London. Like we went to the same secondary school and everything. So now he just drives me home from shows. That was just a very good memory. And that whole night was very cool because I met a load of my friends that I now do stuff with all the time, which is very cool.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
All right. The great artist that I will plug in the fucking comments because their art is great. Harto Tato. If you don't know their art,
That's
it's
my
great.
goat.
Has said, I'm not sure if this question has been answered before on your podcast, but what are your favorite concept albums?
Ooh.
Or,
Yeah.
and
I
also,
mean,
just because it's kind of a two-part question, what are our favorite concept albums, and what stories that we've read do we think would make killer concept albums in themselves?
Oh, yeah.
That's a very good
I
question.
already know.
The second question is very good.
But let's start with the first one. What are our favorite concept albums?
I'll
Scenes.
say two. You go ahead. Good.
I got Scenes from a Memory by
is
Dream Theater.
Yeah,
I fucking love that album. That is peak.
Operation Mindcrime by Queensryche is the one that comes immediately to mind to me. That's my favorite concept album of all time.
I can't believe I used to
um
hate that album.
It's because
is
you're
Tales
a
from a
dumbass.
Thousand Lakes a concept album?
I wouldn't say so, personally. Just like I'd say a concept album is one where the plot plays a integral role in the listening experience.
Well,
But
no,
that's
a
just
concept
my.
album is just an
But
album
that's
that has
just.
a
But that's
consistent
just.
concept.
Yeah, but that's my perception of it. if that makes sense. That's what I'm
Um,
counting in this, but count what you want.
I'll say a few of my favorites. Is From Mars to Sirius considered a concept album?
Yeah,
Yes.
yes, it is a concept
So
album.
so that's gonna be a pick right there. Well, obviously, Still Life
Yeah.
and My Arms Rehearse. I love Last Will and Testament. I think the story in it is great. I love the sound in it. So that's for OPEF. I love The Human Equation by Arion. Arion has beautiful stories that he tells. I don't know how much Arion you guys listen to, but
I
another
haven't. They've
big,
been on my list to check out for
yeah,
ages, but I just
giants,
haven't had
giants
a
in prog
chance
have
to.
beautiful compositions and lyrics. So Arion, Human Equation is definitely one. Crack the Sky, absolutely one as well.
Yeah, I'm seeing
Uh,
Mastodon tomorrow. They're playing on the
Dude,
Slayer bill.
yeah, I've seen them. They're fucking phenomenal. And my last pick, and I'm gonna get shit from Hugo here, but Remedy Lane by Pain of Salvation.
Never heard of
Mid.
it.
Fuck off.
I'll go for some. I'm gonna go for another one that I will say is also arguably the greatest concept album of all time. Nightfall in Middle Earth by
Yes,
Blind
sir.
Guardian.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
utterly phenomenal. The two albums before it are concept albums technically, but not really. They kind of are. You can listen to them without the concept. That one is just. This is basically an audiobook done to music. Like it
Well,
just.
not really, because the thing about the Silmarillion is that it's a very, very like it's not a tra it's not a
Yeah,
book
it's
written
out.
in the
It's not. It's
traditional
non. It's
sense.
non-linear. I think is the.
Yeah. Yeah, like it doesn't like cover one big story. It covers kind of, you can kind of almost say covers like kind of, it's almost a little bit like a history book, I guess you can kind of say.
Yeah, I'm still always fascinated by the old Rheingold, the old German thing that was originally what they were supposed to write about, or the King Arthur concept they were also supposed to write about, and then just didn't end up doing. Because I think those two also would have made very cool albums. Which kind of answered the second question a bit there, but I didn't mean to. But oh
Mm,
well. What other ones do I have in mind? Any of the King Diamond albums, as I've
yeah,
mentioned several times on here, are all concept
Abigail.
albums. Abigail, Them, Conspiracy, Voodoo, The Graveyard. All of them are concept albums. All of them are very good.
I have two more.
Um,
You're done.
go ahead.
Hand Cannot Erase and The Overview by Steven Wilson. Cannot forget those two.
Yeah. Um, I'm not sure if it is a concept album, but Petrogonic Apocalypse, yada 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 by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard is. Oh,
There it is.
I think If Fest the Rat's Nest is definitely. Misplaced Childhood by Marillion. It's a neo-prog. That's
Yeah,
phenomenal. And also their album from the 90s, Brave. If you've not heard Brave by Marillion, it's one of the most dark,
I have to give it a listen.
fascinating prog albums I've ever heard. And one of my favorites. Um,
Actually, I have two more
and
picks.
I'll go Land Lies Down on
Oh wait, I
Broadway
just
by
realized I've
Genesis.
forgotten a really obvious one.
Go on.
Crimson by Edge of Sanity, which is basically just the entire album is just one long song
Fair.
and has a really, really cool story. And then there's also Crimson 2, which is just a direct sequel to it, and it just picks up where the last one left off in the story. So I think Crimson 1 is a lot better than Crimson 2, but Crimson 1 is like it's one of the best. Like it's basically progressive melodic death metal. It's one of the best melodic death albums ever made.
All right.
You haven't
Vit
listened. Have you listened to it, Connor?
no.
You really need to. It's
I've
an
been
amazing
told
album.
to. Yeah. All right, Vitor, you
Lastly,
do yours, and
uh,
then we'll go on to the second part.
yeah, I have my last mentions for concept albums and Porcupine Tree in this time. Deadwing, Voyage 34, Sky Moves Sideways, and The Incident. The Incident probably being my favorite story out of these. Not my favorite album out of them, but probably my favorite story. I think
All
that's
right.
all the concept albums.
And what are some stories that we have read slash heard slash watched that would make for cool concept albums?
I
Basically,
think
what
the
stories do we
movie.
think?
I think the movie The Lovely Bones could make for a great concept album. I don't know if
I've never heard of it.
I don't know if you guys watch The Lovely Bones, but basically, It's a very sad movie. It's a phenomenal movie, but I think it would make for a good concept album because it has a very good sequence of events, I guess, to be able to evoke emotion. And basically, I'll just be really brief with it. Um, a monster kills a monster, as in a man, right? Kills and sexually assaults a young girl under the ground. That he made a little room for her. It's kind of fucked up. So
Yeah,
he
keep
does
it light,
that.
man.
Yeah, that happens. And then when she dies, she comes out in her spirit form, and she sees the results of his actions from the outside, right, in her spirit form, and she explores the afterlife, and she get like it's a beautiful movie in the end. So I think it could make for a really good concept album, highs and lows and emotions. But for
Yeah.
those who watch The Lovely Bones, will understand what I'm saying, 100%.
I think any kind of like old gothic horror
Yeah,
story would be a
Bloodborne.
great concept
Yeah.
album.
Bloodborne
So
and music. Sheesh.
Frankenstein,
Vitor, what the fuck are you on about? Vitor,
Bloodborne.
Vitor just yapping like a soundboard in the background.
see Vitor, Bloodborne has a great story, but it does not fit in a concept album. Blood like the kind of story that From Software game has, it's so like unconventional that it would not work in a concept album at all.
I agree with you, but if one was to work, it would be Bloodborne.
No, no.
In a concept album, what do you mean?
Bloodborne's story is so unconventional, it would not work.
I think a thing with concept albums is the story has to be simple.
Yeah,
Like the
Bloodborne's
best
story
You're
concept,
right about
is
that. You're right about
like
Bloodborne's
that.
story is
It's far from
insanely
simple.
metaphorical.
Yeah.
Queenstrike's Operation
No, you're
Mindcrime
right.
story is guy wakes up, guy kills people, guy doesn't understand why he's killing people anymore, guy runs away, guy gets arrested. That's the basic story of it. This,
Yeah,
this is the basic
like
story of it.
like
Yes, it has
okay,
underlying tones, but that's the story of it. Like, unless you're doing
Blood
some like genuine double prog album that's like 5 hours long, then
Bloodborne's story, it's a great story, but the story is told in an extremely unconventional way. It's told like through like item descriptions and stuff like that.
Yes,
But
yes,
the
yes.
story is also like extremely, and I mean extremely metaphorical.
see, I think I've got the best option here. See, I think we should do a concept album on Evolution from WWE, where Triple H betrays Batista and Randy Orton,
Yep.
and it
But
is
back to what I
heartbreaking
was
because he
saying
puts
before
the
Vitor
thumb
started
down,
yapping about
and then he kill, and
Bloodborne.
then he
Bloodborne.
beats up, and then Batista comes and wins the World Heavyweight Championship
Yeah, whatever, man.
against
And how long
Bucky.
would
Back
that?
to what I was
How long would that
saying.
album be?
I don't know. The actual story is pretty simple, but the actual build lasted about like 6 months or something. Because it's a slow build, you see, because you slowly see Batista get better and better. See, it's
Yeah,
cinema.
whatever, man. Just back to what I was saying before I got interrupted by Vitor talking about Bloodborne.
Bloodborne is
Um,
peak.
any kind of like
No
old
one, no one
gothic
said it
horror
wasn't
story.
peak.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bloodborne is peak, but
it's
it
peak.
wouldn't work in a concept album. Um,
Oh,
Okay,
this is
let's see.
such a bad idea for a podcast. We go so off topic at every. Oh well.
um,
No, it's a great one
like
because I
okay,
love the
can you guys
fans.
just please just let me talk, please? Oh my God, let me talk.
Nick, join
Yeah,
in, man.
I'm getting cut off every 5 seconds. Just let me speak, please. Back to what I was saying before I was cut off for the one
Guys,
quintillionth
just
You
the
time.
didn't even
thing.
know
I
by
think
who
Oh my
now.
God, I'm losing my mind.
personally, I think that classic gothic horror stories could really work
What
to
about
make
Bloodborne?
great.
I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
The second
What I
Hugo
was
crash
saying
out.
Go ahead,
was
Hugo. Go ahead, Hugo.
any kind of old gothic horror story, I
Yeah.
think would work really well, especially if you did, like an album with, actual gothic an actual gothic sound to it.
Uh-huh.
Would do really well. So, just you could go just with, the absolute classic. You could do Frankenstein, you could do Dracula, like
Nosferatu?
there's tons and tons. Well,
Desperado. Are you
Nosferatu
on?
is a modern
Oh,
interpretation of
I thought you
Dracula. Or
said
not really modern, but
I guess. I
from.
guess.
Isn't it from
Nosferatu
like the
is Dracula.
20s?
I guess. I guess.
Nosferatu is a different interpretation of Dracula.
You're right.
Nick, do you have
Um,
any? See, you didn't
I
fucking
think
I've got
back me.
two.
Or Hugo, do you have any more?
well, I was gonna expand on what I said earlier, and it's just like any kind of like gothic horror story. You could also do I think an interesting one would be for a specific band would be the band Wayfarer because they're
Good
black
person.
metal mixed with gothic country. So you could do because gothic country stemmed out of literature, that being gothic westerns, which is just a western combined with gothic horror. And there is a I can't remember what the book is called now, but there's a book that created the gothic western genre, and it's
Wasn't it
basically
the show by HBO?
no, this is like an
What?
old
I'm
book.
mixing them. I'm
This is a
mixing them
book from
up.
the
Dude,
70s.
it's not Westworld. That's not
Uh,
gothic horror.
no, I know. Yeah, you're right. It's not gothic.
I
It's
said gothic.
sci-fi.
And it's futuristic. It's
Dude,
sci-fi.
It's not gothic western. It's sci-fi
Maybe,
western.
guys. Maybe I'm getting sleepy, guys.
You're getting
Yeah,
sleepy.
but there's a book from the or from like the 60s or 70s or whatever, and it's called something something a gothic western. And it's
Something.
basically it's kind of like Frankenstein if it took place if it was a western almost. I think that would maybe be a cool thing to do for the band Wayfarer since they're black metal mixed with gothic country.
The
I
whole
think that
climb
could maybe be cool.
monster. The whole climb monster. A gothic western.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
what
one.
about the Blood Meridian? That'd be interesting.
See, okay, you're coming up, dude. You're just like saying a random story. You don't understand Blood Meridian would be horrible as a concept album.
Guys, I think.
That's
Guys,
another
I
book
think.
that's so
Hugo.
unconventional.
Hugo.
I think a concept album about the siege of Constantinople would be really cool, man.
Yeah.
Like Vitor, you're just like saying like just like
Hugo. You're
the
getting
subject
regimented,
matter
man.
of Blood Meridian
Hey,
is like fits
hey guys,
in a
hey
metal
guys,
album,
hey guys,
but
hey
Blood
guys.
Meridian the story does not fit in a
Hey,
concept album.
Hugo. It's all opinions here, man. There's no bad opinions. There's no
Yeah.
wrong answers.
Yeah.
See?
That is a horrible opinion.
All right,
What about the Bible,
Nick.
guys?
It's
There's so many concept albums about the Bible. There's actually that's not even like a.
so
I already
so
know
this
what Nick's gonna fucking pick.
Oh yeah, he's gonna
Um,
fucking say Star Wars.
that was one of them, yeah, actually.
I'm not even
So
fucking
I've got
surprised. Man.
Is the other one?
So
Is the
I've
other one The Walking Dead by any chance?
no. So the first one I've gone Darth Raven and his story about how
Fucking hell.
he was a Jedi Master and how
The
he got
Witcher
turned
is
into
gonna be
Sith.
another one.
You sound like a 6-year-old.
Fucking what's the other one?
I fucking knew
Was
it.
the other one just Star Wars as a whole?
No. Let me explain. So the first one, Star Wars, Darth Raven, about how he's a Jedi, yada yada, how he gets turned into a Sith, and then the Jedi wipe his memory, and then they turn him yada, and then how Raven
What are you saying?
pretty much
I understand what you're saying. Hey, Hugo.
so
Hugo, we actually you all stood quietly while you talked. So can you replay
So-
the respects? and do
Oh
the
yeah,
technical-
you stood quietly.
so you know the rule of two with the Sith and how Raven's
yeah.
writings pretty much made that, and I think it was Bane. I can't fucking remember.
Yeah,
now, I'm
Darth
too tired.
Bane. No, I know you're talking about
Darth Bane was
yeah.
he made them, and he made like was it Bane that made the rule of two thing a proper thing? You know what? It doesn't matter.
Just get on with it. Just
But-
get on with it. Play
Yeah,
the
yeah,
fucking
pretty much
Monty
Raven's
Python
story,
thing.
and then the second
Honestly,
one was
they-
The Witcher,
Okay.
and pretty much
Blind
The Witcher
Guardian have
3
a song
just
about Blind
that.
Guardian have a song about The Witcher. That goes hard.
just have The Witcher 3 as a whole as a concept album. Absolute cinema.
Nick. You do realize it's based on a fucking book, right? Not the game.
Exactly. Just keep it. Just either one. Just make it happen. I don't care if it's in the if they take
Yeah,
it from
why'd
the
you
book
say
or
The
the game,
Witcher
just make
3?
it.
Just make it off the fucking book.
Shut up.
Hey,
Shut the fuck
Hugo, breathe.
I was quiet
chill.
when you were yapping. Let me yap. Stupid bitch. Fuck you.
Yeah, but you guys'
Yep.
ideas are horrible.
Guys,
I don't
Guys.
give a damn.
guys, stop fighting.
Florida's horrible. Shut up.
I had an idea
I
in
don't
my
even
head.
fucking live here. I'm
of
just on
what it was.
vacation. You just insulted Vitor, not me.
Guys,
Alright,
I
so
had an
what's the
idea.
next question?
I had an idea in my head and I can't remember it. So we're gonna sit here while I think about it. I can't remember, and I can't be asked to properly think about it. It's probably a film or something. Oh well, it will remain a mystery until I remember it and blur out for some reason. All right.
God, this episode's gonna be like 3 hours long. We're only on like the fourth question.
No, we're not. We're nearly finished. We're nearly finished.
Oh, are
No,
we?
we're not.
We are. We've got like 5 questions. Oh no, the last one's
Oh.
3. Okay. If you could pick any new wave of British heavy metal, I'm gonna go for any 80s metal, just so we broaden out a bit. A band attain Saxon or even Maiden's level of fame. Which band would we choose? So which band would we
Heavy
choose?
Load.
Angel Witch. Angel Witch.
Bass. Yep. Okay. This is a quick fire one.
Heavy Load or Gotham City.
Gotham City, just because their demos have the shittiest singer ever, but it works. Every time I fool around, it will be down in Gotham City.
I can't believe
Bass.
Farad hates Angel Witch's debut.
Why'd you just bring up random?
I don't know. Because I mentioned up Angel
These
Witch,
people
I
don't
just remember
know
how
this. The people listening to this
Farad's-
podcast don't know this, Nick.
Farad's one of our dumb friends.
You're
Nick comes
dumb.
on, I said, dumb.
You're stupider than him.
Stupid is not a real word. Dumb.
Guys. Vitor, what's your one?
What's my what?
What's your answer to the question? Why is this episode so cracked? Like, guys.
I can't do this.
Guys, I was reading the questions on the thread. Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't hear what question you said.
So you were reading them but didn't know which. So what were you reading then? Just a random question, just hoping it was the right one.
I was just reading some other question and thinking about my answer.
If you could have one 80s metal band attain
Okay.
Saxon or even Maiden's level of fame, which band would you choose?
80s, strictly 80s.
80s traditional speed metal band. It's a very simple question.
Probably Megadeth.
Oh my god.
Listen,
Oh
you
my
say
god.
speak better. I'm just saying a band from
Yeah,
the
but they
80s
have that
wish-
fame. They have the fame.
They have the fame, but their albums are shit.
That's not what we're talking about. We're saying which band is not big that you wish was big. That's also not an 80s traditional
Okay.
speed metal band. That's a thrash metal band.
Well, okay,
Oh my
I thought of
fucking
one,
God.
but it has to be the 80s because I thought of one that is great for the answer, but it's from the 90s.
The question is specifically if you could have one other. They said new wave of British heavy metal. I have expanded it to basically Swedish metal as well.
Okay, so question.
What is what?
It has to be from the 80s.
Yes, because
Okay.
that's what the question is.
Because I'll find one from the 80s, but I
Yeah.
thought
Oh
of the
my
Chasm
God.
from the 90s that doesn't
Okay,
have the
what
success.
was your one from the 90s?
The Chasm.
Are they a traditional metal band?
That's a death metal band.
I mean, yeah, but like it fits.
No, it doesn't. If I ask you, what's your favorite black metal album, and you go Iron Maiden's debut, that's just a wrong answer. It doesn't fit. It's a great album. It just doesn't fit though.
Listen, I understand. Okay.
You evidently don't.
Oh my fucking god, man.
You see, all the heavy
Just-
metal bands,
just
all the heavy metal bands that I listen from the 80s have the success.
Well, just say one you think should be bigger.
You see, it's hard to say because maybe Accept.
Just name a band. Just name a band.
Yeah, maybe Accept, but Accept is.
There we go. There we go. That's
Okay, yeah, there we go.
I mean, they did attain Saxon's fame, but I'm done with this fucking thing. I'd say I'll go to America. I'd say Sirathongal or Manila Road. That's my
Ooh,
picks.
bass.
And you see, the reason why I fucking said let's do it from the 80s is because the next question is pick a favorite death metal band from Florida, from Sweden, and then 2 from anywhere else of your choice. So 1 from Florida, 1 from Sweden, and then 2 from anywhere else in the world, but they can't be from
So-
Florida.
Okay.
Florida.
Yeah.
I'll probably just say death.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll say that.
Sweden. So with Sweden, are we doing old school death metal? I assume.
It just says favorite death metal band. So
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm gonna say At the Gates, or either At the Gates or a Canvas Quintet, one of those two. And then 2 from other places it was.
yeah.
I'll say Necrophagist, and I will say Nile.
Nice agreeing, sir.
Hugo and I got 3 of the same picks. Does dissection count for Swedish death metal?
No, because they're black
No.
metal. They're like famously
but-
black metal.
No, but they're like mellow death,
No.
mellow black.
No.
No, they
They're
have
like-
some mellow death, but they're way more mellow black.
Oh my god, man.
Hmm.
I'm gonna bomb the podcast. This podcast is never getting released because there's some dead bodies in here. I'm so
Okay, Sweden. I got the same picks as Hugo, except for Carbonate and whatever the fuck the band name is. I want to say probably just In Flames, I guess.
okay. Vitor, what's yours?
I'm gonna. So
Megadeth.
Death is also my pick for Florida, but I'll say something else just to switch it up.
Alright.
Megadeth.
I'll say Morbid Angel for Florida,
All right.
and then Dark Tranquility for Sweden,
Mhm.
and Necrophagist, my third one.
Okay, what's the other one?
Big.
Necrophagist.
Yeah, but it's 2. It's 1
Oh, it's
from
2.
Sweden, 1 from Florida, and 2 from anywhere else.
I'll say Nile then.
I am shocked none of you have picked this. I'm gonna go Death from Florida, of course. I'm probably gonna go. Where are Entombed from?
Yeah, they're from Sweden.
Entombed. I'm then gonna say Chonabodom,
Mhm.
if you count them. If not, I'll replace them with Intestine Balism.
Yeah.
Big,
Oh, so good.
yes.
So
And
good.
then I will go for Bolt Thrower, the famous British band. I'm shocked none of
Yeah.
you have picked.
Well,
Woke thrower.
I'm not as big of a bolt thrower fan as you guys are.
Me
I'm
neither.
shocked Nick did pick Bolt Thrower.
See, if Entombed made more than 2 good albums, I would have picked them.
Yeah, but I've only heard the first one, so I'm just living in bliss,
The-
a
the-
blissful irony
Don't
that
listen.
that's the best one.
Don't listen to the second. Anything after the second album.
Yeah, listen to Clandestine, but after that you can save
Nah,
yourself.
man, Wolverine Blues is my goat. Am I right, boys?
Wolverine Blues isn't as bad as their later ones. It's just kind of mid, but their
No,
later
it's-
ones are so bad.
They do like dad rock stain stuff.
Yeah,
And it's
they
fucking
literally become a dad rock band.
All right,
It's
next
so
question. The corn man himself, Sebastian, asked,
Oh no!
"What?" See, this is the reaction that we get when we ask the fans for stuff. Nick hates
and
it.
who is? Of course it's.
He said, "What kind of music did you guys listen to before you got into metal?" I feel like we've answered this question about 5 times in this podcast, but go ahead.
Let's just do a quick round.
Well, I started with heavy metal, but other music that I listened growing up were classical music and Brazilian popular music. It's called MPB, Música
Alright.
Popular Brasileira. Shout out my goat Seb.
All right, Nick.
Well,
Hugo.
like I said, the thing that I listened to before I got into any kind of rock music was Tame Impala.
That's
Which
not the
I'm not
only one
proud
you
of.
listen to.
Nick acting like he's not going to get cut for what he's about to say.
No.
Yeah, fair. All right, Nick.
Well, I kind of always grew up listening to rock, but before I really got deep into metal, obviously I still like hip hop, so I don't really know if I can. No, I
Yeah,
guess
yeah,
I kind of
I used to
always.
listen to a lot of hip hop too. Same.
Every
do you
single
mean?
day I see you talking about Drake and whoever the fuck.
No,
Yeah,
no, Drake, no.
Nick loves Drake.
I used to, I used to like Drake back in like 2016. So I guess Drake, I don't know, like 10 years ago.
I don't even know what I listened to like before I got into rock and metal. Probably just like what was on the radio, which is dog shit, but I didn't know any better. Probably. I can't think of what I liked before I got into metal.
I listened to a lot of YouTube growing up.
Well, yeah, but that's not listening to music, is it?
No, I listened to
Minecraft
it.
parodies.
I was in like you listen to like YouTube.
I'm gonna fucking lose my mind. I can't
All
do
right,
this anymore.
Let's just move on.
lovely man with the tag Go Mother Nature. What's our album of the
That's
year
my go.
foreclosure of this year? Basically, what I think
Oh.
what. Oh, I've just seen the next question. Oh, it's going to cause fucking arguments. But what are our album of the year's picks so far? Like, we're about halfway through the year. It's actually perfect time to do it. What are our album of the year?
Well, I'm gonna talk about this album later in the episode, but it is Ars Moriendi new album. It's in French, so I can't. I'll try to pronounce it. It's
Do it. I have to
Le
do it all the time.
Esprit Marche dans la. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try. It's some fucking French bullshit.
That was the one you told me to listen to, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I have to
Ars
get to.
Moriendi. Or no. I told you this in their 2016 album, but their 2025 album is my album of the year so far.
Okay.
They're a great band.
Mm.
I'll talk about that more later though.
Alrighty.
My picks are the EP, The Ascent, and The Hunger by the band Palantir. Let There Be Dark by Tower. Magic Eyes by Angel Fury. Give Us the Moon by Night Flight Orchestra. Withering Tides by Ecstasy. Those are probably my top 5 so far.
So, so far, oh, sorry, you go, Vitor.
No, just real quick, I'll just say one. My album of the year so far is The Orphan Epoch by Cosmograph.
I'm shocked it's not Stephen Wilson.
Stephen Wilson is my second. The Overview. Yeah, that's
So
how much I
far,
like Cosmograph's album.
I've
It's over.
got,
Sorry. You go ahead.
I've got 4 picks. Well, no, I've got 4, but one of them is my 2025 album that I'm going to talk about, so I don't want to spoil it.
All right.
So I'll just say 3 of them. So I've talked about this one on the podcast before. Is Tectalarian by Eschaton, or is by Eschaton, was that Tech Death album I was talking about the other week. I've got sorry, my throat is cooked from laughing.
This podcast is so bad that people are dying.
We've lost our hope along the way by Autumn's Dawn. I think I've also talked about this one. This is like
That-
Agalok worship.
That's a really poetic name because that's how I feel right now.
And my third pick, I've got Within the Slumber of the Mind by Defiled Serenity. It's peak melodeath. I'm not sure why it's not rated very well. I think it's peak. I love the melodies. It's the clean singing, the screaming is beautiful.
All right. The next question, which is just going to get us into debates about backstage politics again. How do we decide on every topic on every episode? The simple answer is we don't. It is usually up in the air about what the fuck we're doing that week until the day of / hours before. It depends whether Vitor decides to tell us in advance if he's leaving or if he just tells us with 2 minutes to go. You one time told us you were watching football at the
It
time
wasn't
we
football.
told.
It wasn't football. It was hockey.
Actually, soccer.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
it was hockey. My bad.
It was hockey. Yeah, but it was my team. Okay, it was my team in the finals.
So you knew they
could've
were in the
told us
finals.
more than 5 minutes before.
I thought the game was the next day. To be honest.
You're just fucking stupid then.
Oh my god.
Bro, Hugo's not having it.
You guys crash it out.
Where's I still got Hugo crash out again.
But no, usually, we have a big list of ideas that none of them ever get used because we never look at the list when we come up with ideas. Usually we kind of see what works in our podcast, like the quiz worked, so we're looking to do another quiz, if that makes sense. Like we've seen these kind of videos where we're like interactive a bit more, work more, so we're trying to put more into that. And also, we decided on topics by reading the fans' comments because we love the fans. Well, 3 of us
Right,
do.
Nick?
Especially me.
Yeah.
I'm
But
kidding.
yeah,
I love.
that's the basic opinion. Opinion. It's just how it is. How it
Pretty much,
basically
yeah.
is. Basically, is everyone goes, Connor, what are we doing? I say something, and everyone's like, yeah, that works. That's basically how it works normally.
Or we just yap in the group chat and then come to a decision, and then we change
Yeah.
it.
But yeah. I'm not sure if I want to read the next one.
Oh no.
I know what the next one is. So
Oh,
just,
I know.
I'm not gonna say.
It's Obama's one, isn't it? I fucking
I'm not
Yeah.
knew it. I seen that one. You fucking rat.
So I
We're not-
said in the original thing, if it's too personal, people don't have to answer it. So you don't have to answer this one. But I think some people willingly will. Skip Bricks asked, which Twitter follower would you make out with?
Connor.
Okay, cheers.
I didn't think about this one.
What do you mean?
Bro, was pondering.
Let me look at the podcast watchers.
I would make out with myself because nobody's better than me.
Is that incest?
No, it's called
That's a good question.
self-cessed.
That's actually a good question. Wait,
That's a very good question.
would it be incest if you?
I think
No,
so.
okay,
because
no,
it-
There's
we're
literally
not. We're not talking
there's
about
literally a term.
genetically-
There's
genetically, I think
literally
so,
a
yeah.
term for it. It's called self-cessed.
Yeah, but how would it ever? Like, how would that ever be a thing? If that makes sense.
No, but like literally,
Know what I
there's a
mean?
thing where you're attracted to yourself, and it's called self-cessed.
Okay,
That's an
okay, but
actual
that's
thing.
not what we're talking. We're not talking about that. If you made a clone out of
Well, we
yourself and you
are.
flipped the clone, is it a self-cess or is it incest?
Jesus Christ.
What?
What's happening?
Well, okay, what the fuck are we? Well, okay,
No,
we need to
answer
go
the
back.
question.
We need
No,
to
answer the question. Answer the question.
Oh
No,
my
no, no.
God.
Answer the question.
Rewind. Let's go. What the
Bro.
fuck is this conversation? Let's just go back to the fucking questions, bro. Because what the
Vitor,
fuck
Podcast
is
that music,
this?
by the
Vitor,
way.
No, no, no. Hey, whoa. Answer the question.
No,
No,
no.
I'm not answering that.
See, I think it's incest.
That's nice. All right,
I don't
moving
give.
on then.
I don't give a fuck what it is. We're moving on to the next question. What's the next question?
By the way, Vitor, no one brought that up. You just came up with it by yourself.
I thought. I guess. Yeah.
Just go to the next. Just go to the
Why
next
do you
question,
sound so
please.
happy about it?
I thought it was an interesting
Just
conversation.
go to the next question, please. I'm begging you.
Kajevin.
You see, I could argue why. I could argue
Vitor,
why.
shut the fuck up.
Fuck off.
By the way, guys, Vitor will be taken out and shot by the next episode.
Yeah, I'm in Florida
better
right
do it
now,
now.
Vitor. I'm gonna fucking come and kill you.
Jesus Christ.
It's got
You
music.
Right,
heard
guys.
it here first, guys.
Calm down, boys.
You
Calm
heard it
down.
here first, guys.
Breathe
Alright,
in,
what's the next
breathe
question?
out. Next question was from Kajevin. This is the last person who sent us a thing.
Mm.
First question
Yeah, I
was,
know this.
any good releases coming up in July/August that you could share?
The only one I know of is Paradise Lost. I don't know any other ones that are coming up like now. Do you guys?
Well,
Yeah,
the main one that I'm waiting right now is Amorphous, but that's September.
Witch Hazel released an album this month that was pretty good. It's not as good as their other stuff, but it is pretty good. Apart from that, I don't know either. I feel like
Yeah, I've only got Paradise Lost. Maybe
No.
Testament. I
I
don't
mean,
know,
look,
but
that won't release. Testament have been saying they're going to release an album for like 50 years at this point.
Been waiting on your
new
good
atheist album. New atheist album this week.
No. Metal releases. There we go. Let's
Maybe-
see. Upcoming albums in
maybe
Encyclopedia
that's
Metallum, which means it's going to have like 50 million. I'm not checking that. Heavy Music HQ. This should be good. Jesus Christ, there are so many stuff in here that I don't care about. Joe Stump's Tower of Babel. That sounds pretty sick. Metal 600. That's a band. Wait, there's a band here called Mutant Sex Demon. That's already released. So check that out if you want to.
I'm listening to that right now.
Stygian. That sounds like something some of us should know. Walkings. That's like a power metal band. I can't see any other bands that I feel like we should know. Diamond Head released a live album.
Dude, I just looked at
That's
the album
something.
cover for Mutant Sex Demon. What the fuck is this? Maybe the worst album cover
No,
I've ever
bro.
seen.
Oh no, it's actually like
Keep it to
bad.
yourself. I don't
It's
want. I
hor-
don't want to
it's
know.
it's not like it's not like gross or anything. It's just really bad. Look at it.
I'll look at it after we finish recording.
It's on
Um,
Spotify.
Yeah, and I'll look at it after we finish because my phone's gonna go flat soon.
why? Okay. Um, outside. So basically, no, we don't. Unfortunately. Are there any new releases people are looking forward to for the rest of the year, though?
Oh yeah, like I said,
Gojira
Amorphous.
maybe.
Remember Gojira?
Maybe
Gojira, yeah,
Creator.
Gojira or Mario from Gojira said he wanted, like, said in an interview, like, hinted towards something releasing in 2025. So my guess is either late 2025 or early 2026. Draconian have
Uh,
said that they have a new album in the works. They haven't said when
Halloween
it's going
this
to come
year.
out or anything like that, but they
Yes,
said that they have
Halloween
a new
releasing
album.
their album. That's going to be peak, especially
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the
Halloween. Sure.
Rage releasing a new album, even though it's got fucking
In
AI
August,
on
too.
it. It's a fucking
It's actually my
prick,
birthday. Yeah, yeah.
which I'm not happy
Um,
about.
Dawn
Creator maybe.
have a new album in the works that might be coming out this year.
Let it go. Let it go. That's not happening. That's not happening.
You're the
They
one
literally
saying
talked
like
about it like a couple.
creator.
They talked about it literally just like a couple of months ago.
Honestly,
Wait, Witchcraft?
Let it go.
it would be hype if creator released. 'Cause that means all
Wait.
three of the big German bands, not counting the other one.
I
Um,
think they'll release a single this year, but not the album will be next year sometime. Because they're recording right now, or they finished recording at least.
Wait,
All right.
Dot. Oh, KO Dot's releasing. Yeah, that's another one right there for follower who asked a question. KO Dot is releasing an album in July, apparently.
All right, I'm gonna read the next question now and then try and work out what exactly it means. To be completely honest, other artists outside of metal sometimes have other items in their physical albums aside from a CD and or photo book. What would you
Okay.
want for your favorite bands to include in theirs?
Ah, so you mean like merch, like that
That's a
pop
good,
artist
Okay.
do or something?
that's a good question.
I'd say patches, but only if they're well-made patches.
Yeah.
I think keychains.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
keychains would be cool.
I think pins
Keychains.
or like buttons and stuff like that. So I think stuff that can go on
Reckon-
battle vests and
Or
things.
hats, even. I mean,
Yeah.
hats would be nice.
No, a lot of beanies would be
hats.
nice. I feel like a lot of artists don't
Beanies
do
too.
beanies.
Yeah, beanies too.
Yeah. Because being calm and agreeing with each other. Oh, here comes another
Plus,
one.
Good question.
And then the
necklaces.
final,
That'd be cool.
and then the final question of the entire podcast until we get on to the next bits. But the final part of hopefully all of us arguing. Hopefully,
Yeah.
thoughts on DSBM. I'm going to stay quiet on this because
I have a lot.
oh no.
Vitor, you go first then.
I go first. Okay. I've listened to more atmospheric black metal than I have DSBM, and there are some similarities that I like, and there are some things that turn me off. DSBM has some beautiful melodies, some good instrumental. I think the focus of DSBM, to me at least, is the melodies that they construct. But what turns me off is the vocals. Sometimes I can't. With the vocals, when I listen to music, I want to feel something, but I don't want to necessarily feel something so strong, something so negative, And DSBM can be very negative at times, and it's not something I relate to. That's just the truth of it. It's just not something that appeals me. And even though I can get behind some of the instrumentals and some of the melodies that I listen to and that I like, and another good example of that heaviness, of that negativeness, I guess, in DSBM, Shining is very what's the word, always involved in some messed up shit, right? But I think they have good songs, but it's hard for me to listen to The Shining because some of the lyrics are very heavy, and that's just the truth of it. But I think there's worthwhile things to listen to.
That's
Not
fair.
all, not all, at least for me.
I feel like DSBM for me. I feel like to me it feels like too try hardy. I'm not too try hardy. It feels like it tries too hard.
to make you
to
feel something.
be. Yeah, if it doesn't feel natural, the emotions don't feel natural. It just feels like writing sad lyrics for the sake of sad lyrics or for the sake of doing it. Like when you listen to something like Agalok or Opeth or Draconian, like the emotions
It's
feel
yeah,
natural, but then you've listened to a lot of DSBM, it feels forced. It doesn't feel like I'm sure like writing those lyrics is like very cathartic. And I'm also not a fan of the vocals, but I know it probably feels good to scream like that and all that. But the vocals really just those whiny vocals really just annoy me. And a lot of the instrumentals are very one-dimensional, very
hmm
mid. I don't know. I feel like there's not a lot of variety in DSBM.
I agree with you.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah,
opinion.
so my thoughts are kind of the same. For me, I would really like DSPM if they used a different vocal style. Like I can't stand the vocals. Now, there is one band that is DSBM that I really, really like, and that is a band called Gris.
Grizz, yep.
They're a
Probably the
French
best
band.
thing ever.
They're great.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, but like I feel like there's a lot of DSBM bands that like a band that I would like if they had better vocals is Life Lover. Um,
Yeah,
I think
I've
they
heard one of their albums.
I think they have great melodies, but I just cannot stand the vocals at all. Um, I don't know, they just don't really I feel like there are better ways to make this kind of like pained, really, really sad voice without just sounding
Sounded
whiny
like a
in the way that it does.
yeah.
Like I think there's other better ways to do that. And I think the style
Okay,
of
I'm with
vocals
you.
that DSBM like you also don't really need that kind of whining voice to be sad because the saddest album I've ever heard by far is an album called Watching from a Distance by Warning.
Very good, by the way. Very
It
sad, but very
is,
good.
I think
Very good.
it's one of the best doom metal albums ever made. It's insanely sad. And that album just has normal, clean singing all the way through it. I wouldn't say normal because the guy who's singing is one of the best singers of all time. I highly recommend listening to that album just for the vocals alone. It is, in my opinion, maybe the best vocal performance of all time. It's fucking insane.
It's very good.
How good of a vocal, like Connor, I know you don't like doom metal, but I honestly think you should
Mhm.
listen to it just for the vocal performance because of how good it is.
I'll check. Well, I probably won't, at least now, but I probably will at some point.
Yeah.
Also, I thought of what I could do for the concept album thing now.
Oh,
See,
what?
the Bloodline
No.
storyline in WWE would be really cool because
Oh
it's
my
really cool how it
God.
slowly builds, and then Sami
Shut
Zayn
the
becomes
fuck
Sami Uso,
up.
even though then he betrays Roman Reigns because they tried to make him hit Kevin Owens in the back of the head with a chair, and he doesn't want to do that because Sami Zayn's a good guy. And then at WrestleMania, they beat the Usos to win the tag team champions.
And this
See?
dude calls me
All right,
autistic
man.
for my Star Wars
So
rant, by the way.
you also like wrestling, you just never watch it.
No,
Nick, by the way, Nick
No.
unironically said, "Oh yeah, let's watch wrestling again sometime." Yeah, that was 3 months ago. Even though I
I
tell him
think it
every
was longer
time,
than that actually.
we've not watched
Um,
wrestling since the fucking Elimination Chamber, and you weren't even there for that. It was Royal Rumble. It's been half a year. But since I got into it, fucking hell. Sorry, go ahead.
the last thing I'll
And he
say
calls me
about
autistic, by the way.
I sent this song to you guys in the pod GC. It's
Mhm.
the first song of the album for the Eerie Code by Shiny, the band I just referred to. And I don't know how to pronounce it, Hugo. It's a Swedish band. It's a Swedish name for the song.
Oh,
But the
wait,
first song of this album, yeah, it's E Och Med, whatever.
let me see.
Ho Chi Minh.
Oh yeah, it's what the fuck? It's
Yeah.
Iok med insikt skall du forga.
Yeah, I don't know what it means. It's probably something very sad, but
It means in and with insight you shall forego.
okay, lovely. The first 2 minutes and 40 seconds of the song is just the artist of the head behind Shining, Nicholas Varforth, saying a bunch of shit that you guys will hear for yourselves. And then after that, it's actually very, very good instrumental.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably my favorite DSBM song ever. But it's that type of thing that makes me not get into DSBM and like sit and listen to an album because like why is that there? Like I don't want to I don't want to have to hear that. You know, I just want to listen to your music, plain and
Mm-hmm.
simple. But yeah, there you go. Just wanted to get that out of the way.
All right. We all done?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, thank you for
sorry,
sending in your. Sorry, we're not
until
done.
2 hours.
Okay, well, thank you. I didn't because we took 500 years for Vitor to join, but yeah, that's our questions done. If you asked a question and you thought you got answered well, then you're welcome. If you didn't, fuck you then. We will
And I
probably do
hate
this
to say,
again.
wow.
We'll probably do this again at some point when we hit masters because this was actually really fun. This is one of the most fun recordings I've ever had. I was speaking for myself there. I think Hugo wants to kill himself.
I want to kill all of you.
And then, well, as normal on the podcast, we're now going to go on to our 2025 album. Let's keep this rapid because it's very late here and I really want to go to sleep. Hugo, what's your 2025 album?
So I talked about this briefly earlier. And my 2025 pick is Ars Moriendi new album. And this album is in French. I have no idea how to pronounce it. I've plugged it into Google Translate, so I'm going to see what that says. Le esprit marche dans les... Yeah, I'm not gonna... It's some fucking bullshit, but it's Ars Moriendi's new album. It came out just like a couple weeks. It came out just like two weeks ago or something like that. And Ars Moriendi is an album that, or not an album, a band that I've been getting into a lot recently. Their 2016 album is very quickly becoming one of my favorite black metal albums of all time. It's fucking amazing. Um, they're very they're like progressive black metal, I guess you could say. Um, they have kind of like a unique sound that I really, really enjoy. Um, and yeah, it's just a good album. Like the vocals are good, the riffs are good. There are some like really, what I will say though about this album is that there are some weird like electronic moments, like elements towards the end of the album that are kind of weird, but if you just ignore that, everything else is great. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
All right, Vitor. He's muted. Nick, what's yours?
So this was the album I was going to talk about earlier with
Hello?
my 4 picks. Up is here.
What the fuck? Okay, I'm back.
So I picked Amidst the Ruins by I think it's pronounced Seal.
Sour, right? Sour?
No, it's pronounced like Seal or something. It's
Dior.
spelt like sour, but it's pronounced like Seal or something because it's in like Scottish Gaelic or something.
Phenomenal album, by the way.
And it's like atmospheric folk and black metal, and it's really good. I
It's really
think
good.
Seb actually recommended me the album because he loves his Atmo Black and all that.
Mhm.
Pretty sure he's the one that recommended me it. It's very good. I very much recommend it.
All right, Vitor.
So I was muted for some reason, but I was just saying, Hugo, I have to listen to Ars Moriendi because you recommended me to them, or you recommended me
Yeah.
them. But their covers look beautiful, man.
Yeah, they've awesome. I also they're also one man band, so there's only one guy.
That's
That's
nice.
cool.
That's very nice. Well, my pick for 2025 is an album called Keys to the Palace by an artist, Desiderium. I discovered this album this week.
Oh yeah, this
And
album. I was gonna listen to this.
yeah, it's Melodeath, so you're probably gonna like it. And prog, very proggy supposedly. Melodeath, it's good. I only gave it one listen, but it caught my attention. I want to listen to it again. Definitely worth it.
I'm gonna pick an album that I know most of us have heard, before. It's the News Cryptopsy album. Where
Okay.
I think it is very good. I think it's slightly overblown. I think people saying it's one of the greatest albums of the year are maybe overrating it a bit. But it is very good. It's the main issue of it is it gets a bit samey towards the end, which I mean, that's just my issue with this kind of metal as a whole, to be completely honest. But the production is exactly how I want it to sound, personally, and the drums sound really good.
I think it's
But
good. Yeah, but I probably agree with you that it's a little bit overrated, but I think it's good. It's a good album.
yeah,
People saying it's better than None So Vile.
No, it's
Shut
just
up.
it's not.
It's not. It's good, but Christ.
yeah. All right, on to the final segment. The album wheel spat out and gave us Connor's worst nightmare, a black metal album, but a black metal album Connor actually likes. This is Beyond the Palest Star by Vorga, released last year.
Mm-hmm.
I am not going to read the members of this band because some of the letters they use in their words aren't in the English alphabet, so I don't even know how to start to pronounce some of the things.
Well, let me look at it. Let
Oh
me look.
wait, no wait. Actually, in the band
No,
they
it's
have
not.
well, I kind of do. One of them has a backwards N. But oh well. There's Zora on bass, Atlas on guitars, Sninica,
Yeah.
I guess, on vocals and guitar, and Hime something on drums. This was released on March 29th, 2024. On Transcending Obscurity Records, which is a great name for a label. They are from Germany. And
Okay.
Nick, considering this was your um choice to put on the wheel, what are your opinions on this album?
Well, this album's actually what started my interest in black metal last year. Because before, I never really listened to a lot of black metal. All I really heard was Mayhem, I guess, Venom and Bathory, and that's really it at the time. Um, but now this album, you guys know K-Man Riffs on Twitter?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, he posted this album on like 'cause every Friday he does like a thing where he posts albums, and this was one of them. And I listened to it purely because of the album cover, and I thought it was peak.
Yeah.
And since then, it's been my favorite.
All right,
Been my favorite
Vitor,
genre. So,
what was your
got a
opinion on
text
it?
message.
Um, I didn't listen to it before the wheel.
Mhm.
But I'll tell you, Nick, this was a very, very, very pleasant surprise. I loved it for the same reasons why I like Battle Digraph, like dense compositions, like it's heavy, like atmospherically it's heavy. You know, like this is what cosmic black metal is supposed to sound like. I guess I don't know how to put it in better terms. It's a kind of atmosphere that I like. You know, it just I really liked it. Very good rec.
All right, uh, Hugo.
Yeah. So my opinions are kind of the same. It's a really, really good cosmic black metal album. The melodies are great. I think the vocals are great. The atmosphere is great. It's just a generally really good album that I think if you enjoy black metal, I think you should listen to this. Maybe like the one criticism I could have of it is it like it's not doing a whole lot like new or innovative, perhaps. Like it is kind of just doing the same black metal formula again, but it does do that black metal formula really, really well.
I think that's the idea. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's really all I have to say.
They have some mean riffs in the middle, man. Tragic Humanity. There's a little riff. 340 ish around there, 330 ish. Fucking brutal riff, man.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've properly given this album a listen because I didn't listen to it in the upcoming list because I've just been so busy. But I did listen to it a lot last year. It's one of my favorite black metal albums from last year, if not my favorite. I don't know why I like this so much. I think the production has a lot to do with it. I think the production is great. I think the vocals are great. It's overall just a very strong album. As I say most of the time when we talk about black metal on this podcast, I can't explain why I like some and don't like others. That's just me. But yeah, it is a very good album. I'd highly recommend it.
I was very pleasant with it.
The riffs are also peak.
But yeah. With that, we'll probably wrap it up now, just so we don't end up waffling on for even longer. Let us know your opinions on Vorga. Let us know a 2025 album that you really like, and let us know your opinions on any of the questions you heard on this that you find
And-
important. Let us know how you Let us know how you found out about metal, books, or something you think will work for concept albums. Anything like that. Just don't answer any of Vitor's questions he asked, because
I
that'll
think
get
Also,
us
Blood would be a
banned.
good one,
let
guys.
us know what you thought of
Let's
Vitor's
convince
answers.
Hugo why
No.
Blood would be a good concept album.
Shut the
No.
fuck
No,
up.
we're not getting into
No.
this now.
That also wasn't what I was talking about, but okay. But anyway, we're gonna wrap it up there. It's getting very late. Hopefully this should be out soon, because people have been waiting a long time for this. But yeah, say bye everyone. Be nice and friendly.
Fucking
Goodbye, everyone.
bitches.
Voted.
That's not very nice. Love you. Bye.
Not the viewers, by the
Bye.
way.